So today it is a very short but important session. So basically, I will deliver you the arrangement, especially in the time of emergency. What actually our arrangement as a building management. So first of all, I would like to brief you on the alarm system of the building. So the building have a centralized system in terms of detecting and extinguish the fire. So we have 3 stages as for all. First stage, basically, the detection system will detect any form of heat and smoke. So basically, the alarm will goes on. What actually we need you to alert for is actually our team will investigate where is the location of detection. So basically what you need to do is just stay calm and wait for the announcement, for the instructions. So if it is a false alarm or the fire has been extinguished, so all clear announcement will be played on the PA system. So you can carry on with the rest of the event activity. But if there is a genuine case of fire, so our team will play the evacuation message through the alarm system, and the alarm bell will continuously ring on to alert you to evacuate the building. So basically what you need to do is briskly just stand up and walk out of this room. I will show you the evacuation plan later on. So basically this evacuation summary, what actually you need to adhere to if in the event of evacuation is needed. So please make safe of any current event activity. Let's say you have your belongings, your personal belongings, please secure it. If there is any device being turned on, please ensure it being made safe. And leave the building as quickly as possible, but do not run, please. Just walk briskly and use the nearest exit door, and do not use lift. So whenever the alarm was activated, all the lift system will be shut down, and the lift car will park at the low ground floor. So the lift will be no longer usable during the activation of the alarm. And ensure that occupants who need assistance being escorted. So this is the secretariat of the event need to ensure if any person with disability or person with injury during this event need to be escorted out. And report your attendance to floor warden at assembly area. Later on I will show you where is the assembly area. And do not re-enter the building or leave the assembly area unless you are advised to do so. So basically you need to wait there and report your attendance, because your today's attendance to the event being recorded in the registration list. So we use that as our roll call list for this event purposes. So this is the evacuation plan. As you can see, the red box there is the room that you are currently in. So there is 3 doors out from this space. So there is 1, 2, and at the back there is the last door. You can quickly exit the door whenever being instructed to evacuate the building. Right after that, please take your turn to the main door that you are using this morning. So exit from that main door and cross the road. Just in front of the building, there will be a field in front of the building. There is our assembly area. Please just stay put, gather among the packs of the event, so it's easy for us to do the head count. So this is the assembly area location. If you can see, there is a green field in front of the building. So in the event of injury or incidents, or if you encounter any hazardous situation, please report to our security counter in the main lobby. And for the purpose of the event, there will be a first aid coverage for this event. you can summon your first aider at the next room beside the tetrax, the guest room. There will be his first aider there. So if any injury, please get yourself at that location so you can be treated using our first aid facilities. That's all. Any questions? Okay, I think that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yang bahagia Profesor Datuk Dr. Muhammad Tajuddin Mat Ninggal, Vice President Academic and Research, Open University Malaysia, OUM, Associate Professor Dr. Afroza Bulbul Afrin, Director of Research and Publications, International Open University Gambia, IOU, esteemed members of OUM's Executive Management Committee, distinguished guests from the Selangor State Education Department and Petaling Utama District Education Office, officials and participants from OUM, IOU, and other local universities, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good morning. Welcome to the opening ceremony of the third IOU Conference on Research and Integrated Sciences, IOUCRIS 2023. We begin with the Dua recital by Dr. Wan Ubaidillah Wan Abbas.
Assalamualaikum and very good morning. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim. We raise our hand to thank you for enabling us to meet at the Third International Open University Conference on Research and Integrated Sciences on this happy morning. Ya Allah, Ya Munzil al-Rahmah, wa Ya Fatih al-Barakah. Please bless and facilitate the journey of this program from the beginning to the end. Give us the opportunity to exchange ideas, knowledge, and views, as well as fuel a culture of research that can ultimately contribute to a better life, al-hasanah fid dunya wal akhirah. O Allah, please light up our hearts with the light of your guidance, just as you light up the earth with the light of your sun. Give us your wisdom and pour out from the treasures of your mercy. Ya Allah, Ya Zal Jalali wal Ikram, make us among your faithful and pure servants. Grant us long-lasting health, perfect well-being, a sound mind, intelligent thought, halal sustenance, offspring and generations of believers, and grant us all the goodness in this world and the hereafter. Allahumma ja'al jam'ana hadha jam'an marhuma wa tafarruqana min ba'dihi tafarruqan ma'suma. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adzaban nar. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. We now invite Associate Professor Dr. Shishikuma Pyarlal, Director, OUM Graduate Center, to give the welcoming remarks.
Very good morning to all. Professor Datuk Dr. Muhammad Tajuddin Mat Ninggal, Vice President, Academic and Research, OUM. Associate Professor Dr. Afroza Bulbul Afrin, Director of Research and Publication, International Open University, esteemed members of OUM Executive Management Committee, distinguished guests from JPN Selangor and PPD Petaling Utama, official from OUM, IOU, and other local university, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of OUM, we are pleased to welcome you to the third IOU Conference on Research and Integrated Science, which is jointly organized by International Open University, the Gambia, and Open University Malaysia. Welcome to all IOU delegates to Selamat Datang. The core theme of this conference is collaboration and networking for excellence in research. There are 8 sub-themes: Arabic language and literature, Islamic banking and economics, business administration, information technology, psychology, education, Islamic studies, and multidisciplinary areas. IOUCRIS 2023, the third edition, aimed to provide researcher, presenter, and participants with a platform to network and share their thoughts in their respective areas. We received more than 140 submissions from 10 countries, and today, more than 60 papers will be presented in parallel session. That is total of 5 parallel sessions. Before we begin the conference, I would like to take a moment to recognize and to appreciate the hard work of all of the team who started planning to this event since December 2022 here. Their tireless efforts, dedication, and attention to detail have made it possible for us to host this event today at our headquarters. We hope all presenters and participants will be able to take away valuable insight from the conference. We look forward to your feedback on the proceeding. So a form will be disseminated through email after the conference ends. Terima kasih. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Doctor. Now, we'd like to invite Associate Professor Dr. Afroza Bubul Afrin, Director of Research and Publications, International Open University, The Gambia, to deliver her speech.
Auzubillahiminasyaitonirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalatu wassalamu ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajmain. Dear respected Vice President, distinguished guests, other faculty members, dear researchers, and all other participants, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Salamat pagi. Okay, I pray all of you are doing well, inshallah. I'm very pleased to welcome you all to this very first hybrid conference of IOU, that is the third IOUCRIS. This is the conference in collaboration with the Open University Malaysia, which will run on today, 23rd. This is the face-to-face presentation, and tomorrow escaped for the self-guided tour. Our online presentation will be conducted on 3rd March, inshallah. The objective of this conference is to create opportunities and foster a research culture among the academics, researchers, and other students. And we also publish a quarterly peer-reviewed journal. And the title of our journal is Journal of Integrated Sciences, to demonstrate our commitment to research. So please participate in this conference activities with and enrich our researchers by providing your valuable comments and suggestions on their presentations, inshallah. I'm also delighted to announce that all 4 papers submitted to third IOUCRIS can be considered for publishing in our journal, and it is subject to peer review. Those who could not submit their full papers due to time constraints, we are opening the door for you. So in March 31st, if you can submit that one, then we will consider it for publication, inshallah. We are open to building partnership with other academics and business institutions to co-organize conferences in the future. Here I would like to announce that, we have options for providing the best paper awards. There are 2 categories. One is for students category, another is for professional category. So because we have the online presentation on 3rd March, so we are going to announce the award winners on that day, inshallah. Please join me in prayers that may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the ability to make the third IOUCRIS a big success. Thank you all for your kind participation and cooperation.
Thank you, Doctor. The IOU Chancellor and Deputy Vice Chancellor of Academics send their regrets as they are unable to join us today in person. However, they have recorded welcoming messages for all of us, which we'll play now. Firstly, IOU Deputy Vice Chancellor of Academics, Professor Dr. Muhammad Ahsan.
Researchers, academics, students, dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I am very pleased to welcome you, all of you, in this third International Open Universities Conference on Research and Integrated Sciences, IOUCRIS 2023. This is the first hybrid conference, face-to-face as well as online mode, organized by the IOU with the collaboration of Open University Malaysia, OUM. I'm thankful to the co-organizers, all participants, keynote speakers, and guests for attending this conference to make it a success. I especially thank keynote speakers for their time, efforts, and also I highly appreciate the organizing committee for making this conference a reality. They really turned our dream into a reality. Alhamdulillah, it's so good to see that. IOU was launched by Professor Dr. Bilal Phillips in 2007 as a higher education institution that offers intensive online degree programs. IOU is committed to spreading beneficial knowledge that is easily affordable. I'm just emphasizing easily affordable by everyone. And it will benefit not only individual students and our graduates, but also its focus is to empower all communities around the globe. That's the main focus of IOU. IOU is engaged in academic research, not only teaching, but also academic research, research training, publishing journal, publishing many books, and our next this initiative, organizing of international conferences to create knowledge, to promote knowledge, to explore knowledge, and develop collaboration with other institutions around the world, and also foster research excellence ultimately. That's the aim. We are very keen to improve the careers of our young academics, our researchers, by enhancing their abilities for further growth and development. For this third IOUCRIS, we have received around 150 research papers. Subhanallah. So good to see. 150 research papers from various key areas, including Arabic language and literature, business administration, education, information technology, Islamic studies, Islamic finance, banking, psychology, and many other areas. This conference is another milestone for our university, especially towards achieving research excellence with the collaboration of Open University Malaysia, inshallah. I hope this collaboration will not only continue, but it will strengthen with the passage of time. And in our future, this strong and more, strong collaboration, I would say, that would really benefit students of both universities and also, as I said, communities around the world. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you, all of you. Once again, thank you very much for participating in this conference. I'm so pleased to see this, and I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for your well-being and for your development. Jazakallahu khair. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
And now, IOU Chancellor, Professor Dr. Bilal Phillips.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, all praise is truly due to Allah. Organizing this hybrid symposium is a historic moment for IOU, in which face-to-face research presentations are blended with online deliveries of their contents simultaneously. This conference on research and integrated sciences is the third IOUCRIS Global Conference organized by the Directorate of Research and Publications at IOU in conjunction with one of the top-ranked private universities in Malaysia, the Open University of Malaysia, OUM. I'm further pleased to inform you that more than 130 research papers have been accepted for presentation from among many submissions from all over the world. It is also thrilling to note that 50 of the papers have been submitted for offline live presentation. Alhamdulillah, IOU is already globally known for its teaching excellence. We are currently carefully focusing on developing a similarly high reputation for research excellence. We are diligently organizing research conferences as a further step towards completing the first stages of our research excellence journey. Simultaneously, IOU is conscientiously engaged in the regular publication of its flagship Journal of Integrated Sciences, JIS. Today and tomorrow, the 23rd and 24th of February, are dedicated for face-to-face presentations. On the other hand, the online presentations will take place on the 3rd of March 2023, inshallah. In addition to its actual academic value, the conference also has significant weight in providing a platform for collaboration and networking among scholars and researchers at IOU with those from the rest of the world. I would like to heartily thank the authorities at OUM for their cordial cooperation and participation in order to make this conference the success that it is. It is our sincere wish to further strengthen this relationship between us in the future. I would also like to thank the conference organizers for their untiring efforts to successfully hold this event. In conclusion, I'm further pleased to know that the conference organizers will be granting special awards for the best paper and a best student paper award. Hopefully, this will, inshallah, further motivate our scholars and students to participate in similar conferences in the future. May Allah assist and guide us to focus on academic activities that aim to empower global human societies and communities to fully achieve the IOU motto of changing the nation through education. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
We now come to the highlight of the event. May we invite Yang Bahagia Professor Dr. Muhammad Tajuddin Mat Ninggal, OUM Vice President, Academic and Research, to give the opening speech and officiate IOUCRIS 2023.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much to Mr. Azam. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Yes. And good morning to everyone, and also salam sejahtera. So first of all, on behalf of the university, I would like to extend our sincere appreciation and welcome to Open University Malaysia, and also on behalf of the President of the university, Professor Dr. Ahmad Izzani Awang, who couldn't make it on this day due to an emergency appointment that he has attended. So I'd also like to welcome all our distinguished guests, especially from IOU, Gambia, Associate Professor Dr. Afroza Afrin, and also flying all the way from Bangladesh, Dhaka, and also to our Associate Professor Shafiqul Islam, flying all the way from Sydney, just to attend our conference today. And not to forget our closest neighbor from Jabatan District Education of Petaling Utama, Puan Rohana and her strong delegation of 10 officials. Let's give her a very big round of applause, guys. Yeah? So, Puan Rohana, so we are very blessed that you can make it today, because I believe being our closest neighbor, there are so many things that we can engage, so many things that we can collaborate in the spirit of academia. And also not to forget my colleagues, my management, Professor Yun, Professor Siti Aisha, our management team, and also all the deans. And also not to forget, I would also sincerely would like to welcome all our presenters from public universities. Let's give them a very big round of applause, guys. Public universities. Thank you for coming to Open University Malaysia. Not only public universities, but also private universities in Malaysia. And also, not to forget, we are currently also live, right? We are not live on FM. We are live on OUM streaming. So we have 35 centers all over the country who are currently watching our conference opening ceremony live, and also towards the end of the day today. So also not to forget to our students. So I'm very impressed. I feel very, very happy to note that many of our students, our doctoral students, master students participated in this conference by sending their papers, which I believe is a good step towards academic excellence. So as mentioned, thank you very much, as mentioned by Professor Bilal Phillips, the founder, I believe the founder of IOU Gambia, renowned scholar, right? I think he was named as the top 50 renowned, influential people in the world of Islamic, right? Muslim scholars. So very renowned figure, which I believe we are partnering with the right institution, and again, being an open university and the premier university in Malaysia. So once again, thank you very much. And just for Puan Rohana, so I believe Puan Rohana, I think, Puan Haliza, okay, I'm sorry. So might be another Rohana in my mind. Okay. So Puan Haliza, my apology, Puan Haliza, because you are sitting beside Dr. Aliza. She is the dean of the Faculty of Education. So Puan Haliza, my apology again. But I believe, being our closest neighbor in the field of education, you are looking into the school systems. I know we have more than 10,000 schools in Malaysia. I think like 4,000 secondary schools and 6,000 primary schools. I might be, that's the number of education system, the school system in Malaysia. So I believe that will be a feeder. Finally, we have studies that shows that students who graduated after their high school, there's a trend that they are now not wanting to further their education. That's a trend now. Because we are now in the world of, we are now in the 21st century. We are dealing with the new millennium, right? We are not dealing with the 40, 50 years ago. It's not about my time. So we are dealing about the new generation, digital generations. So again, I believe as an institution, we have to really learn and grow and understand who are our students now. What are their preference? What are the education structure that they're looking forward? Because most of them are now, they are looking into the gig industry, right? We are now moving into the 4th industrial revolution. Very soon, we are going to go to the 5th industrial revolution. Now we are talking about curriculum. We are now moving about metaverse curriculum. Wow. Right? The combination of AI, artificial intelligence, fuzzy logic, these are the things that we have to catch up. So again, at Open University Malaysia, even though we are the premier university in Malaysia on ODL, we are always in the process of learning. Right? We are enhancing our modules. We are looking into the best way of doing instruction to our students. What are the preference of teaching? So these are the things that I think we have to really invest and do a lot of research on this and investigation. So I believe this seminar or this symposium is very timely, even though Dr. Afrin, you mentioned that it's a very quick decision, right? So normally when we prepared for seminar, it will take about 1 year. But now in this, hybrid world, through online communication, quick decisions, we make it happen. And you see, this is the reality of, the power of technology. All right, thank you very much again. So again, I hope this seminar will meet the objectives. All right, so we have more than 140 papers, and of course there are many multidisciplines. I mentioned by Dr. Shishi, 8 disciplines. So I believe a very good platform for you to, try to understand and listen. And of course, I believe this is the spirit, right? This platform is to share. So we are here not to outdo one another. We are here to share our little knowledge that has been blessed to us by God. So I believe, it doesn't belong to us. We have to, share with people to educate, our colleagues, our friends, our students who are, coming to learn and improve their knowledge and make a new sense about their life. And finally, you are moving towards the meaning of life. So again, education is about giving meaning to the life. Education is about prosperity. Education is about sustainability. So we are talking about now ESG, right? We're talking about sustainable development goals in education, ESG number 4, right? If you're looking about this SDG, education goes under pillar number 4, sustainable education. Providing education to everyone who needs education to educate themselves and make a difference in their life. So I always mention this to my, when I go out and meet students who are, they're feeling low about themselves. We have students who are not performing well in education. But I always tell them this message. I always tell them that, in order for you to strive for excellence in your life, right, you can start at any point of your life, right? You don't have to be, you have to be smart. Some people, they are late bloomers. They started late due to so many reasons. But that doesn't mean you cannot strive in your life. So again, dalam kita melihat kecemerlangan ini, dia tidak ada tempoh. Dari mana kita datang tidak betul. From where you start is not important in life. You can start anywhere in your life to reach for success, for excellence. But the most important thing is where you want to end up in your life. Di mana kita nak berakhir, itu yang penting sebenarnya. That is your goal. That is your destiny. So to me, we are now in the process of reaching that goal. And that goal is the goal that you're going to strive, not only in this world, but also in the hereafter. So with that note again, I'd like to say I'm very happy, I'm very honored to see all of you here today. And of course, to all my presenters, my colleagues, I wish you all the best in your presentation. And please make use of this platform to not only listen to the paper presentations, but also to network, because I believe the power of networking. Right? So I believe, Puan Haliza, this is the first step of 1,000 miles. So I believe after this we can start collaboration, because I believe there's so much that OUM can offer, because we are offering flexible learning, Puan Haliza. Yeah? So that means we can enhance the level of education among teachers, because I believe teachers needs to be enhanced in terms of the academia. So they can still teach in the classroom without abandoning their job, but they can continue their education for further enhancements. So we can go for master's degree, we can go for doctoral degree. So we're here to provide quality education. So I hope this will be, embarking to more interesting, valuable interactions and also communications in the future. So if there's any setbacks, any shortcomings from the university, my sincere apology. We are always striving to do better, right? I believe in the concept of 1% principle. So we do it gradually, right? So today must be better than yesterday. And tomorrow, inshallah, must be better than today. So that 1% principle, I always believe in that principle, that we do it gradually, right, in our life. So once again, I also like to take this wonderful, wonderful opportunity to extend my sincere appreciation also to our secretariat, headed by Dr. Associate Professor Dr. Sishi. Let's give him a very big round of applause, guys. Yeah, Dr. Sishi. I know he hasn't slept for the past 3 days. Haven't slept, but makan banyak. Haven't slept, tetapi makan selera ada, Dr. Sishi. And his dedicated teams, right? Dedicated teams. To me, you are like the blazing stallions in the desert. Itu istilah dia. Blazing stallions, stallion in the desert. Dahsyat, dahsyat. So, kalau boleh catat sikit tu, ya. Baik. Right? So thank you again to Dr. Shishi and your team. Even though it's short notice, you delivered it very well. Thank you very much. And also to all our media team, right? The media team. So without your support, making it online, live streaming. So you are doing a very good job. Keep up the good work. So again, it is the spirit of teamwork. All right? It doesn't, it's not a single person doing this. So the analogy is like when you go to a restaurant, you see a very nice food given to you. But that is the end product. You need to go to the kitchen to see how they make that food happens to you. Go to the kitchen. So this is where you see this is like very nice, well planned. Go to the kitchen. So all the pot, everything flying here and there, right? To make sure that whatever you're going to present here is well presented, right? So once again, let's give yourself, guys, give yourself a very big round of applause too. Everybody, give a very round of applause too. Because why? Because you make the time. Because you make the time to invest your time here. So you make a very good investment about enhancing your knowledge. So I don't think it's a bad investment. You take the time, you make your choice, because in life, you always got choices in life, right? In order for you to be happy or you want to be sad. So like today, if you want to be happy, you smile. If you want to be sad, you will not smile today, right? You make the choice, you make the call, right? So you control your life. So I hope in that note again, without further ado, in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, most gracious, most merciful, it now gives me great pleasure to officiate the 3rd International Open University Conference on Research and Integrated Sciences. Thank you. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much.
Esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, now please join us for refreshments at level 1. Our conference ushers will guide you to the lifts, or you may opt for the stairs. Please return to this theatre at 10:15 a.m. for the first keynote session. Thank you.
Hey you, do you know what ODL is? Okay, let me tell you about it. ODL, or Online Distance Learning, is the perfect option for those who are looking to study flexibly. OUM Digital University has over 20 years of experience in offering ODL courses that is driven to help you upgrade your knowledge. And qualifications. You can now work and study flexibly. Anywhere. And anytime. OUM, redefining flexibility for working adults. Hey you, do you know what ODL is? Okay, let me tell you about it. ODL, or Online Distance Learning, is the perfect option for those who are looking to study flexibly. OUM Digital University has over 20 years of experience in offering ODL courses that is driven to help you upgrade your knowledge. And qualifications. You can now work and study flexibly. Anywhere. And anytime. OUM, redefining flexibility for working adults. Hey you, do you know what ODL is? Okay, let me tell you about it. ODL, or Online Distance Learning, is the perfect option for those who are looking to study flexibly. OUM Digital University has over 20 years of experience in offering ODL courses that is driven to help you upgrade your knowledge. And qualifications. You can now work and study flexibly. Anywhere. And anytime. OUM, redefining flexibility for working adults. Hey you, do you know what ODL is? Okay, let me tell you about it. ODL, or online distance learning, is the perfect option for those who are looking to study flexibly. OUM Digital University has over 20 years of experience in offering ODL courses that is driven to help you upgrade your knowledge. And qualifications. You can now work and study flexibly. Anywhere. And anytime. OUM, redefining flexibility for working adults. Hey you, do you know what ODL is? Okay, let me tell you about it. ODL, or online distance learning, is the perfect option for those who are looking to study flexibly. OUM Digital University has over 20 years of experience in offering ODL courses that is driven to help you upgrade your knowledge. And qualifications. You can now work and study flexibly. anywhere, and anytime. OUM, redefining flexibility for working adults. Hey you, do you know what ODL is? Okay, let me tell you about it. ODL, or online distance learning, is the perfect option for those who are looking to study flexibly. OUM Digital University has over 20 years of experience in offering ODL courses that is driven to help you upgrade your knowledge. And qualifications. You can now work and study flexibly, anywhere, and anytime. OUM, redefining flexibility for working adults. Hey you, do you know what ODL is? Okay, let me tell you about it. ODL, or online distance learning, is the perfect option for those who are looking to study flexibly. OUM Digital University has over 20 years of experience in offering ODL courses that is driven to help you upgrade your knowledge. And qualifications. You can now work and study flexibly, anywhere, and anytime. OUM, redefining flexibility for working adults. Hey you, do you know what ODL is? Okay, let me tell you about it. ODL or online distance learning is the perfect option for those who are looking to study flexibly. OUM Digital University has over 20 years of experience in offering ODL courses that is driven to help you upgrade your knowledge. And qualifications. You can now work and study flexibly. Anywhere. And anytime. OUM, redefining flexibility for working adults. Hey you, do you know what ODL is? Okay, let me tell you about it. ODL or online distance learning is the perfect option for those who are looking to study flexibly. OUM Digital University has over 20 years of experience in offering ODL courses that is driven to help you upgrade your knowledge. And qualifications. You can now work and study flexibly. Anywhere. And anytime. OUM, redefining flexibility for working adults. Hey you, do you know what ODL is? Okay, let me tell you about it. ODL or online distance learning is the perfect option for those who are looking to study flexibly. OUM Digital University has over 20 years of experience in offering ODL courses that is driven to help you upgrade your knowledge and qualifications. You can now work and study flexibly, anywhere and anytime. OUM, redefining flexibility for working adults. Hey you, do you know what ODL is? Okay, let me tell you about it. ODL, or online distance learning, is the perfect option for those who are looking to study flexibly. OUM Digital University has over 20 years of experience in offering ODL courses that is driven to help you upgrade your knowledge and qualifications. You can now work and study flexibly, anywhere and anytime. OUM, redefining flexibility for working adults. Hey you, do you know what ODL is? Okay, let me tell you about it. ODL, or online distance learning, is the perfect option for those who are looking to study flexibly. OUM Digital University has over 20 years of experience in offering ODL courses that is driven to help you upgrade your knowledge and qualifications. You can now work and study flexibly, anywhere, and anytime. OUM, redefining flexibility for working adults. Hey you, do you know what ODL is? Okay, let me tell you about it. ODL, or online distance learning, is the perfect option for those who are looking to study flexibly. OUM Digital University has over 20 years of experience in offering ODL courses that is driven to help you upgrade your knowledge and qualifications. You can now work and study flexibly, anywhere and anytime. OUM, redefining flexibility for working adults. Hey you, do you know what ODL is? Okay, let me tell you about it. ODL, or online distance learning, is the perfect option for those who are looking to study flexibly. OUM Digital University has over 20 years of experience in offering ODL courses that is driven to help you upgrade your knowledge and qualifications. You can now work and study flexibly, anywhere and anytime. OUM, redefining flexibility for working adults. Hey you, do you know what ODL is? Okay, let me tell you about it. ODL or online distance learning is the perfect option for those who are looking to study flexibly. OUM Digital University has over 20 years of experience in offering ODL courses that is driven to help you upgrade your knowledge. And qualifications. You can now work and study flexibly. Anywhere. And anytime. OUM, redefining flexibility for working adults. Hey you, do you know what ODL is? Okay, let me tell you about it. ODL or online distance learning is the perfect option for those who are looking to study flexibly. OUM Digital University has over 20 years of experience in offering ODL courses that is driven to help you upgrade your knowledge. And qualifications. You can now work and study flexibly. Anywhere. And anytime. Betul, open ceremony invite to the lobby from the building. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We now call upon Dr. Aliza Ali, Dean, OUM Faculty of Education, to introduce Yang Bahagia Professor Datuk Dr. Muhammad Tajuddin Mat Ninggal, who will be delivering his keynote address entitled The Power of Your Psychological DNA.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm truly pleased to be here with you today and to have opportunity to introduce Prof. Dr. Muhammad Tajuddin Ninggal, who will be our first honorable speaker. Okay, and our speaker, Prof. Dr. Muhammad Tajuddin Ninggal, is a licensed professional counselor, certified neuro-linguistic practitioner, and US-trained counseling psychologist. He did his first degree of education in the field of counseling and guidance from University Putra, Malaysia, Master of Arts in the fields of counseling and psychology, and PhD in counseling and psychology, both from Western Michigan University. Currently, Prof. Dr. Muhammad Tajuddin is a Vice President of Academic and Research at the Open University Malaysia and a member of the OUM Board Governor. Prior to joining OUM, he had served as the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Student Affairs and Alumni, and Professor of Counseling Psychology at University Technology Malaysia. His 30 years of professional experience in the field of counseling psychology has been focused on a wide range of issues and services, particularly psychological testing and assessment, corporate coaching, stress management, psychotherapy, career counseling, talent management, multicultural counseling, and family counseling. He is also the visiting psychological consultant with the Twin Towers Medical Center, KLCC, Kuala Lumpur, and eminent visitor professor with University Brunei Darussalam. I believe some of us here had heard about his renowned innovation. He is the founder of Tashma Personality Plus and Tashma Career Interest Plus, the first Malaysian online psychological expert system copyrighted in 2003. His latest online psychometric application is called PsyTech, which consisted of 3 online tests: personality, leadership, and integrity. He is here today as the first keynote speaker of this IOUCRIS conference. Okay, without further ado, I would like to welcome Prof. Dr. Muhammad Tajuddin Ninggal to present his keynote speech titled, The Power of Your Psychological DNA. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much to Dr. Aliza once again. Thank you for reading I'm really humble, right, my brief introduction about who I am. So once again, a pleasure to meet all of you here today to listen to my keynote speech with the title of The Power of Your Psychological DNA. So I will bring you through my presentation so that you get some idea what will be the content like, and then towards the end of my presentation, I'll be very happy to listen to your questions if you have, or to your sharings that you would like to add to my presentation. So before I begin, let me ask you, how are you guys doing today? Are you guys okay? If you are okay, I want you to say, all right. Can you follow me, guys? All right, once again, are you guys okay? Big smile, yeah? Are you guys all right? Puan Aliza, all right? Are you guys all right? Okay. Are you guys okay, all right? Confused already, yeah? All right, give yourself, once again, a very big round of applause. All right, guys. Okay, my title for today, the power of your psychological DNA. So you might be, like asking yourself, what is this all about? DNA, you heard about DNA, And what is this all about psychological DNA? So I'm going to bring you along my presentation. And by the way, I'm known as Prof. Touch by my students. Touch is like Taj Mahal, Taj Mahal, right? So even my psychometric tool is called Tashma, right? People say, hey, yeah, similar to Taj Mahal, right? So my students call me Prof. Touch. So as mentioned by Dr. Aliza, formerly I was from UTM, the public university. I was there for, I think, more than 28 years, being in a public university, right? Conventional university, research university, and then coming and join another university, OUM, online university, right? ODL university. So it's very interesting to see the dynamic of this university coming all the way 28 years from public university, very conventional, to open university Malaysia, very dynamic, very digital, right? Very digital, very fast. So I'm learning two different worlds of delivering the knowledge to our students, right? So I'm here, I'm very blessed to be at this university, as mentioned earlier. So I'm always in the process of learning. So I'm learning so many things. So I thought, I've already retired, right? I took my early retirement from UTM and I thought of resting. And then finally, hey, I can still contribute to the world of academia. So here I am, again, wanting to share my little experience with all of you. So the concept, the spirit of my presentation will be more sharing. I'm here to share with you what I've done for the past 30 plus years in my academic world. So to me, I like to share, and then how we can benefit from this presentation. So these are my talking points. So I'll be talking based on what is DNA and psychological DNA, right? So I will walk you through, right? What is DNA and what is psychological DNA? And then I will talk a bit about psychology and personality, followed by why psychological DNA is powerful. Why is it powerful? So I will explain to you why is it so powerful. And then I will go through with how can we apply psychological DNA in our education setting. So I will try to apply that in the school system. I'll try to apply that in the university system. I'll try to apply that in our everyday life. How can we apply psychological DNA? And then when can we apply psychological DNA? And then followed by my conclusion. Right. So I have roughly about, Dr. Aliza, 30 minutes, right? 30 minutes of my talk. So I'll try to finish up my presentation. So let's look, what is DNA actually? Deoxyribonucleic acid. What is it all about? We have heard about that, yeah? So let me just brief through. So it is a nucleic acid, contains the genetic instructions in all living organisms and viruses, all right? Can be used to diagnosis, to treat genetic diseases, people using DNA, determine physical characteristics such as the color of your eyes, the color of your skin, the color of your hair, so they can determine that. And DNA is used for investigation, identify individuals and investigate crime scenes. So you know about forensic science, right? People will look into your DNA. Does it match or not with the crime scene? So again, one of the most powerful tools available in modern science. So we're looking into the scientific mode. DNA is very powerful in the modern science. It can be used to identify your siblings, to identify your genetics. So many things can be done by investigating DNA, right? And again, this is like the composition of DNA. So they have the genetic code, they have so many different entity in DNA, double helix, and so on. So this is like just how it looks like in terms of the scientific, diagram of the DNA. So now, I will bring you to what is psychological DNA. Because DNA is used in the terms of scientific terms, right? But it might be seldomly used in the psychology field. So I'm using this term in the field of psychology. So I call it psychological DNA. What is it all about, actually? So when we talk about psychological DNA, we need to go to the field of the discipline of psychology. So some of you here might be pursuing your education in the field of psychology, master's and doctoral level, or you might already got your degree in psychology. So again, we are talking about what in the field of psychology. So psychology is the scientific study of human behavior and mental processes. So that means we try to understand why certain people behave in a certain way, why certain people think in a different way, why certain people are having this emotional swing. So in the field of psychology, try to understand the human behavior and also the mental processes. So a psychologist seeks to discover what makes people behave in certain ways and uses this understanding to solve problems. So we use this information to provide solution to you, to solve issues, to solve your everyday life problems. You will learn the fundamental principles of psychology and gain a comprehensive understanding of the human mind. So people ask me, is psychology important in other areas of your life? My answer is, psychology transcends to all segmentations of your life. When you talk about organization, they have organizational psychology. When you talk about medical, you have medical psychology, forensic psychology. You have educational psychology, right? So psychology transcends across every part of the human dimension, right? In your family system, in you, even inside you. It's about psychology. Who you are today is also about your psychological makeup of who you are. So again, when we talk about psychology, I chunk down the information. Now, from psychology, you are just a broad understanding of psychology. Now I'm chunking down the information to personality, right? Because psychology is a very broad discipline, very broad, right? You have many sub-disciplines of psychology, including counseling psychology. It's sub-discipline of psychology. So very interesting in the Malaysian perspective, in the Malaysian context, counseling supersedes psychology in the Malaysian context. Counseling supersedes the psychological area in Malaysia. Why? Because if you remember, way back, I think it was way back, I just came back from the state. It was way back in 1998. I finished my doctoral degree. I came back. That was the time there was a lot of crisis in child abuse at that time. A lot of this family thing going on. At that time, the Minister of Wanita, Pembangunan Wanita and Keluarga, Family, Women and Community. At that time, the minister was Dr. Tan Sri Shahrizad. She was the former minister, very dynamic lady. So then she emulated the act. She said something has to be done to address the human crisis in the Malaysian context. So that's where the begin of the act of Akta Councillor, 1998. I was part of the governance of the act until it was passed by the parliament in 1998, and the act is called Akta Councillor 580. Councillor Act 580. So that was the history of why counseling profession in Malaysia becoming so dynamic and supersede the psychological field. So that's the history of counseling in Malaysia. So that's why now, if you look at the school systems in Malaysia, all the 10,000 schools in Malaysia, they must have school counselors, right? One? At least one. Well, I've seen many schools with 3 counselors, 4 counselors. And they have to be registered counselor. So they have to be registered under Akta Counselor 580, Counselor Act 580. All right, so again, bringing back to the personality, so psychology, you have to really understand personality. So personality is the set of traits and characteristics that make up an individual's unique identity. There's no 2 people the same. There's no 2 people the same. Even among your siblings, even among your twins, they are not the same. Dr. Afrin, they are not the same. They are different, right? Combination of thoughts, feelings, and behaviors shaped by nature and nurture. So that means, what does it mean? It means the development of your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors is a process. That means why you are here, why you are like this at this moment, because if you go back to your past history, your past upbringing, it has some influence to that. The way you're being brought up, the way you are being taught, the way the message will being transcended to you, will make up your belief system. So that's why many people, unfortunately, some people, they are trapped in their belief system. They are trapped, terperangkap. See, they are trapped in their own world. The sad thing is, once you are trapped in your own world, you become, they call it cognitive dissonance. That means anything that comes to your mind, you will repel. You tolak. I'm going to repel it. No. Because I've already created my belief system. That is actually false. Tak betul. Tapi you betulkan dia. So become my belief system. That's how I behave. That's how I interact with people. Because I'm bringing my false belief system. Very sad. And the most sad part will be you are trapped in your belief system. Tak boleh keluar lagi. Okay? So again, this is again the study of the mind, study of the personality. And again, it can influence how we interact with others and situations. It doesn't happen overnight. It is a process, the journey of life, journey of your life. Right? So until you are here now. That's why I think very important in terms of education, the way teachers interact with their students. Now we are talking about millennium. You are talking about millennium students now. You are no longer talking about 50 years ago, during my time. No, it's about new time now. How do we interact with the new age of students? What kind of study mode that they would like? So again, these are things that we have to really understand, right? Otherwise, again, I think very important for lecturers and also teachers. Sometimes, yes, we are taught 50 years ago, right? But whatever that was taught 50 years ago still lingers in your mind. Masih lagi bermain dalam fikiran you tau. Like it was yesterday. But now, you are in the modern world. You are no longer 50 years ago. You are now in the modern world. But that memory of 50 years still playing in your mind. The memory you are being scolded by your teacher still lingers as if it happens yesterday. You quarrel with someone as if you are still quarreling in your mind. Very sad. You are still quarreling in your mind. So these are things that I think very important for us to really understand. Again, when we talk about personality, there are positive personality traits. Let me just give you, there are many traits here, positive traits. Let me just go and browse very briefly. Aspiring, positive traits. Confident, energetic, humble, optimistic, romantic. Romantic is positive, eh? Positive. Romantic is a positive trait. Very romantic. Dr. Shishi, are you a romantic husband? Okay, very romantic, but you have your dimension of your romantica, yeah? So, but not be too romantic, Dr. Shishi, yeah? All right. And then you have the negative traits, negative personality traits. For example, arrogant, cynical, sometimes very cynical, very cynical. When we do interaction, the cynical thing always come up first. Very cynical. Oh, boleh ke? Tak boleh ke? Very cynical. Compared to someone who's very objective. But this person is very pessimist. I always play my pessimist antenna. So again, see, the way people interact. Envious, envy of someone, envy of other people's achievements. The envious thing is negative, right? Fearful, sometimes fearful of the unknown. So very fear of something, but I do not know what is it. I'm very fearful, right? So that fearful is controlling you, right? Indecisive, cannot make decisions, right? For example, you are a boss, your subordinate sending you something to make your decision. You have been thinking day and night, 3 bulan belum buat decision. So that might be very difficult to be a boss when you cannot make a decision. So that's again very indecisive because you are not sure. So again, this is very important traits that we must not have. Yeah. Shy. Sometimes people are very shy. You know, they've been very shy when they are small until now. The shyness become bigger and bigger. When I was doing my private practice, I'm also private practice at Twin Towers Medical Center, I have one of my clients that came and see me, say, Prof, I'm like dragging a metal ball at my feet. Okay, there's a metal ball. Last time it was small. Dulu kecil, I can drag the metal ball. But now the metal ball is becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. I cannot drag my feet anymore. So dia bagi metaphora. You know, sometimes people talk to you in a very creative language. So as a counselor, you have to really understand what does it means. Okay, then I say, what is that metal ball means to you? Oh, that was my shyness. Malu. Bukan kemaluan, malu. Okay? Dia kata, dulu saya malu, I can still bring around myself. But now that shyness is becoming heavier, bigger, until it's affecting my life. And I become very tak confident, I'm not confident anymore. I feel very shy, I feel very fearful. So it's affecting your life. So sometimes in your communication, people might use this metaphora in their communication. Students might use this metaphora to your teachers. So teachers need to pick up, kena understand what does it means, and then kita explore further what does it means, yeah? Okay. So why is psychological DNA important and powerful? Why is it important? So again, my connotation of psychological DNA is on the psychological perspective. So I'm using this DNA, I pinjam, you know, I just use the word DNA in the science and I match in the context of psychology, right? So I call it psychological DNA, which comprise of your personality, who you are. In terms of psychology, I call it psychological DNA. So that's your psychological DNA. Your traits represent your DNA. That's what does it means, yeah? So why is psychological DNA important and powerful? Number one, it can influence a person's psychological makeup. It can influence you. So if you have negative psychological DNA, it can influence your psychological makeup, who you are as a person. Secondly, psychologically healthy versus pathological. Either you can become a psychological healthy person, or you become a pathological person. Right? Pathological means you are not, psychologically, you are not healthy. You don't feel good about yourself. What more feeling good about other people? So again, you are not healthy in terms of your psychology. And the risk of mental illness and personality disorders. So there was a study recently by the Ministry of Health amongst children. I think there's a higher trend of students now experiencing mental illness, right, among the school children, right? I was reading this one book that says, if you're driving around a football field, right, football field, you're driving around, 22 kids are playing football, so you can see how many people will end up in jail, how many people will end up in mental institution, how many will end up, so you can see, from that 22 students, how many will finally end up having some mental problems in their life. So very important for us to really look into this issue, because this is a real issue that is affecting our community and also affecting the nation as a whole. Yeah. So when we talk about, let me just briefly go through, when we talk about personality disorders, actually there are 10 types of personality disorders. Tingkah laku tidak normal, abnormal personality. There are 10 types. Dr. Afrin, which type are you? Okay, all right, I'm just kidding, all right? You can choose which type do you want, right? All right. So there are 3 different clusters. This is based from DSM-5. What does it mean? The reference is DSM-5, Diagnostic Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, 5th edition, used by all psychiatrists around the world. So they use this as their reference, right? So there are 10 types of personality disorders, divided into 3 clusters. Cluster A, odd, bizarre, eccentric. Cluster B, dramatic, erratic. Cluster C, anxious, fearful. Under cluster A, you have paranoid, schizoid, schizotypal. So don't be happy when people call you, hey, you are paranoia. Hey, very nice, very nice word. Paranoia means paranoid, right? Jangan happy pula, you ni paranoia. Oh, there's a new term, right? It means paranoid, you are paranoid. And then antisocial, borderline. I'm going to talk a bit about borderline. Histrionic, narcissistic. And then cluster C, the anxious and fearful, avoidant personality disorder, dependent personality disorder, obsessive compulsive personality disorder, OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. Kena buat. Every day I have to do this, otherwise I cannot function as a person. I have to do this every morning. Right? For example, I've seen my client every morning parking his car. He will park his car and lock the car. Tak. And then he will round the car, pusing kereta. And then try to open the door. And then look into the window, the screen, tengok dalam. And then pergi dekat office, and then pusing balik, pergi lagi sekali. Very obsessive compulsive. Adakah dalam bilik? Adakah dalam bilik ni? Right? Sometimes you are driving, ayo, did I lock my door or not? Then you go and then you go and turn your car. You have been driving like 10, 15 kilometers. And then in your mind, did I lock my door or not? Go and drive back. If that happens to you many times, you are OCD. Dr. Shanti, do you do that, Dr. Shanti? So, in personality disorders, there are 3 categories, 3 levels: mild, moderate, severe. Mild, moderate, severe. So if you look at yourself and myself, actually kita ada semua ni. But our category is mild, mild category, right? Belum masuk moderate, belum masuk severe. Okay, kalau masuk severe, you pergi hospital mental, pukul 10 dia azan. Dia azan call for prayer, 10 o'clock in the morning. Because they're already in their own world. They're already in their own world. Okay? Once you lose them, it's very difficult to come back, to bring them back, because they're already in their own world. So that's why when people who are insane, crazy people, when they knock you down or they give you, they hurt you, you cannot charge them because they are insane. They are not in their own. They are not in their mindset, right? That's why you cannot charge them because they are in their own world. Okay, that's a story. Patient dengan doctor. So the patient tell the doctor, "Doctor, I think there's a horse in my stomach. Ada kuda." Dia kata ada kuda in my stomach because dia ada hallucination, right? "Doctor, there's a horse in my stomach, in my tummy." So the psychiatrist said, okay, come. Let me do a surgery on you. So lie down on that surgery bed. So the doctor like acting, doing surgery, because you are talking with people who are not in the right mindset. So the doctor do the surgery, and then after done, I say, okay, done. Your horse is no longer in your stomach. Oh, really, doctor? Right? Yes. Oh, doctor, thank you very much. But doctor, so we got one more question. What was the color of the horse? The doctor said, black. Ayo, mine is white. You see? So you are talking about, it's very interesting, very interesting. I still remember when I was doing my internship in a mental health hospital in the United States, because I'm doing this clinical psychology. I was doing my round. I realized every morning when I went to that cell, all the 10 patients will come around me. They will hold my hair. At that time, my hair was like afro look, afro. To alley cats, afro look. Then someone will hold my jacket, greet me, and then I said, wow, it's been 1 week already. So all this, when I come to that cell, that block, all the 10 people will come and surround me, but not to other doctors, And then one day, I went the next morning, I said, okay, guys, come, let me ask you. Of all the many doctors here, why you like me so much? And everybody was laughing. You know why, doctor? Yes, why? Because you are just like one of us. 1 minggu tak boleh makan, Dr. Sisi. Because you are just like one of us. So that's the story. So very interesting, very interesting. I got my friend, his wife is a psychiatrist. Dia kata, I'm so worried about my wife. Why? My wife goreng ikan pun ketawa sorang-sorang. Goreng frying fish, ketawa sorang-sorang tengah goreng ikan. Frying fish, laughing. So the husband said, hey, why are you laughing? Teringat patient. Frying, teringat patient. So psychiatrists also got the tendency, the risk of, kalau, that's why they have to take some rest. They have to take some rest. They cannot work all the time. They have to take some rest. Otherwise, they become one of them, yeah? Okay. So all these things are happening. What I'm telling you, they are happening in our life. Okay? Happening to us, happening to our family, happening to our institution, happening to our community. Yes. But sometimes they went unnoticed. Itu problem dia. The problem comes when you did not notice that this person is actually not psychologically healthy and need to be addressed, need to do intervention program. Example, school children, why they are running around, nakal lah, jahat lah, always you blame that person, you pukul dia. Actually, this student is not psychologically healthy. We have to do diagnosis. Try to do intervention program, how to help these students. Why you are running around? ADHD, attention deficit hyper disorder. Why? Because there's hormone imbalance in that kid. So you have to do this hormone treatment to balance up the hormone, right? Some students, they are not doing well academically. Why? Sometimes they are dyslexic. They cannot see words. They see words terbalik. So they say, ini lembab lah, ini. So we are not doing justice to our children. Because why? Because we miss them. We did not understand them, that actually they need some intervention from us. So that's why it's very important to really understand the psychological DNA of who we are, our children, our students, and our family, right? So these are okay. Very brief, cluster A, what does it mean by paranoid? Paranoid personality disorder, kalau dah sampai level high, moderate, high, and severe, distrust of others, very distrustful. Cannot build relationships, always distrust. Kawan-kawan tak boleh kawan lagi. Kawan-kawan tak boleh, okay, always got this distrust. Paranoid, always paranoid. Overly sensitive. People are laughing, you go makan somewhere in the canteen, one group is laughing, and then you talk to yourself, laughing at me lah ni. Ketawa aku lah ni. People are not laughing at you, but you are self-sabotage. Ting-tong, you call ting-tong. You talk to yourself, people laughing, and you tell to yourself, they are laughing about me. They are not laughing about you, but you are overly sensitive. Then affect your communication, right? Schizoid, detached and aloof, very aloof, very aloof. Cannot build relationship, very aloof, very detached, very detached. Has no desire for social or sexual relationships, no desire. Lack of emotional response. People make jokes, people laughing, they control. I don't laugh, I'm not going to laugh. But that person laugh 1 week later. After 1 week, dia laugh seorang-seorang. Dia teringat itu joke, not spontaneous. Because telling yourself, I cannot laugh. If I laugh, I'm not good. So control. People make jokes, doesn't laugh. Laugh 1 week later. Okay? And then you have schizotypal, oddities of appearance, very odd, appearance very odd, behavior very odd, the way you talk very odd, your speech, unusual perceptual experiences, odd belief yang very odd belief system. Okay, belief system that people are coming after you, very bizarre, very bizarre. People are talking to you, hear voices, ada orang dia dengar suara tau, hear voices, nampak visuals, hallucination, so they go into the schizotypal, yeah? Cluster B, very, very brief, I just want to go to you very brief so you understand what does it mean by personality disorder. Antisocial, common in men, very common. Okay, Ramesh, very common in men, Ramesh, right? Antisocial, unconcerned for the feelings of others. I don't care about this. Very antisocial. Irritable and aggressive. Sometimes very irritable. The way you talk, the way you behave, very irritable and aggressive. Borderline, this is the one that I'm looking now into my research now. I'm more looking into borderline personality disorder. Lacks sense of self, intense but unstable relationship, emotional instability, mood swing. While you are laughing, then you can cry after that. While you are crying, you become angry. So mood swing. I nak kena baca my boss. Dia punya mood hari ni okay ke tak okay? Kalau okay, then I show my proposal. Tak okay, I simpan proposal. So I have to study the mood swing of my boss. Suicidal threats, okay, very important. Sometimes there's a symptom, a sign of suicidal threats among our students. wanting to take their life. Kadang kita tak perasan dia sedang ada menunjukkan showing the sign symptoms of suicidal threats. So we have to do intervention program. Yeah. Histrionic, attracting the attention and approval of others. Very histrionic, want attention from people, want to get attention. So this is happening a lot in social media now. If people don't like you, don't like your Facebook, you feel very bad, very sad. You feel angry about why people don't like mine. Then you start liking yourself. Make it. So this again, in the social world, social media now, people have this kind of dramatizing, playing a part, dramatized in the social media. Because we got three self. Everybody got three self. Semua orang ada 3 self. One is called the public self, the self that you show to others, public self. Secondly is your ideal self, what I want to be. And thirdly is your real self. Ada 3 self. Semua orang ada 3 self. Kadang-kadang in the social media, they are not portraying their real self. They are portraying their ideal self, their public self. A lot of make-believe in the social media. So that's why people are trapped. Many people trapped in the social media because that's not their real self. That is I'm just portraying to you my public self, my ideal self, not myself, my real self. So they hide their real self. So incongruence in their personality. And then lastly, narcissistic. Extreme feelings of self-importance, lacks empathy, self-absorbed, controlling, intolerant, selfish, insensitive. So they got some combination of that. And finally, cluster C is the anxious and fearful, avoidant, socially inept, unappealing, inferior. Always feel inferior. Always feel lack of self-esteem. So again, it's about avoidant. Yeah? Dependent, lack of self-confidence. Lack of self-confidence. Always avoid situations. Fear of abandonment. So what will happen if I don't do this? People will abandon me. People will leave me. So always got this fear in your mind. And then obsessive compulsive. Preoccupation with details, rules, lists, organization, schedules, perfectionist. So you heard of the word perfectionist. Very perfectionist. Cannot even make one mistake. Go and do it again. Very perfectionist. Happens in the group work. Among students, happens in the group work. Sometimes you got 4 people in a group. Finally, you take up all the work you do by yourself because you are very perfectionist. So it's affecting you because you cannot work with other people, right? Okay, how do we measure then? So now, how do you measure the psychological DNA? Right? How do you measure? So of course, first, something that you can see, behavioral assessment, your behavior. We can see the behavior, all right? The way we talk, the way we act. However, it's quite difficult for us to really go down deeper. Understand your knowledge, your skills, your preferences, your traits, your belief, your values. So all these things have to be measured, but how do you measure this? How do you measure this? So this is again, come back to the measuring the psychological DNA of a person, right? So now I'm chunking down my information to the usage of psychological assessment. So in order for you to measure that psychological DNA, we must be able to use our psychological assessment. Very challenging. Each individual is unique. You do a lot of prediction. How the individual will behave at work, school, or therapy. Combination of behaviors must be understood in the context of culture and particular setting. Standard depends on both reliable and psychological tools and trained assessor. So what does it mean? It means when we want to measure the psychological DNA, it must be done by a trained and certified counselor or psychologist. They must be trained. Otherwise, if they are not trained, they are not certified, then there'll be a lot of misdiagnosis in the psychological assessment, right? Very important. So let me share a bit about the history of psychological assessment. Started way back 2,000 years ago. Actually, when I did a study, psychological assessment started during the ancient Chinese Empire, started 2,000 years ago. During the Chinese Empire, when they want to select government officials, they have been using that psychological assessment, which I call now psychological DNA. They have been doing that 2,000 years ago. And then the era, go to the 13th century, modern testing in European education, modern testing in clinical scientific psychology. In the 19th century, people are talking about IQ group testing. 20th century, talking about modern psychological testing. So there's an era of testing. And now, finally, we are talking about the 21st century. Standardized, online, and cultural-based testing. So at one time, when I think 50 years ago or 40 years ago, in the Malaysian education system, we don't have people that construct testing, local people, Malaysian people. So we've been using a lot of this Western testing, right? We've been using a lot of Western testing. But of course, there are issues in the Western testing. So now we have to go to the 21st century. We are talking about tests which is relevant to your culture, relevant to your psychology, and relevant to your values. So we are talking about now moving towards the cultural-centric testing, yeah? Which I'm doing right now. So there are three things that we need to know when we use to measure. Three things about psychometric tool. Is it valid? Is it reliable? What are the norms? So if we are able to stabilize all this information, then you are good with your instruments. Sometimes we do have a lot of testing online, right? There's an online testing a lot in social media, okay? Other online testing on marriage, on many things. Actually, those testing are called pop testing. They are called pop testing. Why they are called pop testing? Because you do not know whose daughter. There's no scientific statistical value to it. There's no reliability test on it. So it is called pop testing, for fun, only for fun. So always be cautious. Do not take any testing on the online because we even do not know who are the authors of that time. Sometimes it's misleading. So now we are talking about standardized psychometric testing. So again, I'd like to share a bit about psychometric assessment in the US and the UK have been used by US Fortune 500 companies, UK Time Tops 100. So again, you see a lot of over 80% multinational companies using psychometric assessment to see the importance of the assessing people to be in the organization. Over UK Times, over 75% companies using psychometric testing to employ, to engage their new employees in their organization. And you can see here, percent of employers using types of pre-employment tests, so about 46% using personality or psycho test on applicant on current employees. So sometimes we want to recruit people in your organization. I want to understand what is your psycho DNA? Is it suitable or not in the organization, right? Before, are you going to be an asset to the organization or are you going to be a liability to the organization? So once we engage you, then we have to do a lot of this firefighting with you, okay? I always have to address you because you are no longer an asset to the organization, but you are already a liability to the organization. So we look about the HR, we're talking about HR community. So more reliable, what benefits do you expect from the use of psychometric assessment when they do a survey on all this HR community? More reliable, less risky, so they said it's moving up. Can predict performance. When you use this psycho testing, can predict your performance. Fairer decisions, evidence-based assessment. defendable decision based on data. So sometimes when you make recruitment, you have a evidence based. Faster decisions, very fast decision, because evidence based, not on my perception. Sometimes we a lot of perceptions, but most of the time our perceptions are wrong. Only our how we perceive that individual. Yeah. Complement and supplement the process. So during the interview, sometimes you don't have the psychometric assessment, so you are lacking that one important component. With psychometric testing, supplement and complement your interviewing process, your selection process, your training process. So it complement and supplement any process that you do when deals with human beings. So very briefly, some issues using Western psychometric tools: cultural bias, misdiagnosis, malpractice. So we're looking into the professional aspect of using the psychometric testing. Reasons for hiring. So why people hire? Sometimes we hire people because of academic, work experience, knowledge, skills, first impression. Sometimes we take you because of your first impression. You are able to make a good, present yourself well to the interviewing committee. First impression, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. But that doesn't guarantee that you're going to be a good employee in the organization. Reason for hiring. But why people fire you? Can you think? Why an organization fire that person? Why? Why fire that organization? Okay? If you look here, reasons for firing. Just now you take somebody because academic, wow, first class. Wow, very good, can speak well. But reasons to fire someone because of sexual harassment, absenteeism, conflict of interest, lack of integrity, theft, violence, drug, insubordination, poor job performance, negative attitude. See, I fire you not because of your academic anymore. I fire you because of your personality, of your behavior. You see the importance of investing into the right person to be into your organization. So important to know personality, important to know your psychological DNAs. Then there's another term, I call it psychological poverty. Psychological poverty. So this is one of my doctoral students, I've already done the research doctoral students on psychological poverty. Normally, when we hear the word poverty, always go towards financial, right? The standard of living, economy, poverty, right? But in the sphere of psychology, I use the term psychological poverty, miskin psychology. You are not rich in your psychological traits, right? So the lack of positive traits that could influence a person's psychological makeup, that would affect a person's mental state, well-being, and behavior. So sometimes people are having this poor lack of psychological ingredients, negative. So I call it poor in terms of their psychological. I call it psychological poverty, another term in the research that I'm conducting with my PhD student. So a little bit about, I'm going to talk a bit about story, about what I did, right? Just to share. I'm not here to, to humbly, I'm here just to share, right? What I did when I came back from the States, I said something has to be done in terms of testing in Malaysia. So a story about Tashma started about 20 years ago when I came back from doing my doctoral degree. So I authored and I constructed the standardized test way back in 2003. It was under my research and commercialization with my university, my former university. So now we have come to the latest edition, the 5th edition, paper and online version. So this is the online version now. So I've expanded the online version to personality, leadership, integrity, career, and stress. So all these psychometric assessments will help the organization, will help the school system try to understand why if my students not performing well. So sometimes we do a lot of these things. Why my teachers are not performing in school. So we do a lot of this psychometric assessment, try to assess their psychological DNA. That's what I mean, psychological DNA. Yeah? So the online system is, we use all the technology, randomized items, one person with another person, not the same in terms of the sequence of items, accessible anytime, available smartphone and laptop, real-time reporting. The minute you click, automatic, your result will come out based on Malaysian psychology. That's the value, based on Malaysian psychology. No longer based on the Western psychology. Can be customized, available in Malay and English, available for the school system, colleges, university, and organization. Yeah? So reliability test has been done consistently, highly reliable, right? Using classical test theory and item response theory, very high reliability. So this trait, one of the tools that, there are so many tools to assess psychological DNA, but I'm referring to the tools that I've been doing in my research, right? I'm more sharing my research. I'm measuring now 12 personality traits, and one of the traits is the borderline personality traits. By using the Tashma personality test, I can detect whether that candidate has a symptom of having borderline personality. So the test can detect early detection, whether this person is demonstrating some kind of borderline personality disorder. And the distortion is, I can detect whether this person is, when they answer the test, are they answering genuinely or they are faking good? So the test can also detect in terms of the scaling of the test. Right? So there are some other traits that I measure. So what does again borderline personality? Fear of abandon, extreme mood swing, unstable relationship, impulsive, destructive, self-harm, paranoia, chronic feelings of experiences. So again, this is the borderline trait that I measure from that Tashma personality profile. Okay. All right. Let me just very quickly. I got a sign. This is a little bit about how it looks like, the result, right? The profile. Come up with the reports, everything. And then you can see you have the personality report, you have the career report. The career report is that students after SPM, they want to take their field of program of studies, which university, which program. By using this career profile, we can do some inclination. What field of program that match with that student? So this is something that can help the school system, right? Doing talent management in your school system. And then you can do comparison, candidate comparison, profile, their career strength, on par, development. So you can see candidate A, where is their strength? These are two that they need to improve. The red one is developmental need. So these are the things. So we can do a lot of this. Once you have data, we can do a lot of this talent management program and strategic intervention program for our candidates. All right. Of course, there are a lot of benefits here. A lot of benefits. Recruitment, provide important tools. This is something that I think very important. Longitudinal data for research and development. We are very lacking in terms of psychological data. We got so many academic data, so many personal profile, but we are lacking in terms of psychological data of our students and our candidates. All right, I'm going to end up my presentation. In fact, I got things I'd like to share, some research finding been done. Give me like 2 minutes, right? Yeah, 1 minute, okay. So if you look at this study, it's been done 100,000 graduates, university, we're looking for career and academic. Counseling, 100 graduates, they're looking for the counseling, for counselors, the important role of counselors. You see the mean score of nation school teachers. I did a study nationwide, 14,000 school teachers. You see the traits? Assertive is not that high. Leadership is not that high. Achievement also not that high. So again, you can see the trend of the Malaysian school teachers, 14,000 nationwide been done. And then university students, you can see a similar pattern, combination, similar patterns. So that means there's a relationship between school teachers and students that they are coaching. So I see a similar patterns. And then I did, when I do this outreach program to American nation studying in America, you can see a lot of these traits, right? They are not high, assertive, not high, self-confidence not high, leadership not high. So you see, sending students abroad, we need to do a lot of this grooming, personality grooming. So they're already in the state, but they're not high in terms of self-confidence. Washington, D.C., also the same, all right? So I'm just sharing with you some things I've done in my research. So these are some psychometric program during the former Prime Minister, doing for medical doctors, right? All the housemen, they take the test. Okay, all right, so conclusion, knowing your students, your employees, psychologically well leads to better results and better productivity. That's my message, right? My message to all of you today, the conclusion of my talk is that knowing your students and employees psychologically well leads to better results and better productivity. Psychometric assessment is powerful. It can be your strategic tools in understanding your students, employees, and their psychological DNAs. So I believe it's timely to use psychological assessment tool based on the Malaysian culture and psychology in providing a holistic and realistic views of an individual. Thank you, continuous improvements. And once again, thank you for your time and thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So I'll be very happy to take some questions if there are. No questions? All right, so the secretary say no more question for you. So once again, yes, we have one question. Can you allow Dr. Rosli to have one question? Yes, Dr. Rosli, please. Pardon me? 14.
Doctor, maybe you can just
Okay.
I have a 14 years old daughter at home, and she's basically has a problem. I feel that way after listening to your presentation. She doesn't want to go to school because she says school are fake, and she doesn't want to mix around with other people because she believes that there are many fake people outside there trying to flashing something, not humble and so on. Even at school, teacher have not finished the syllabus, but it came out in the exams, and it actually for her is very frustrating. Yeah, but she's good. I would say at home she kept talking to me, and I believe she has strength in terms of learning language. Okay. She learns by herself Korean and some other subject also. But she doesn't believe that she's good. I always try to praise her, she's good, she's good. I'm not good, but she actually is good. But she doesn't want to accept her strength as well. So I don't know whether she falls one of the category of deficiency in personality. That's my question. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much to Dr. Rosli. Let me try to address the question. Very interesting. Not only happens to Dr. Rosli's daughter, but I believe this is also happening to other adolescents, right? In general, right? Listening to Dr. Rosli, what came to my mind is there's a lot of feeling of dissatisfaction, right? A lot of dissatisfaction in her life, a lot of frustration in her life, and also something that I would like to investigate more will be some of the traumatic events that she might be dealing with before. Prior experiences that affected who she is at the present moment, right? So to me, there's no shortcut to this, no shortcut. So to me is, one is either through the parents, right? Keep talking to her. try to understand the motives behind it. What is causing you like this? Investigate what is causing you. What's the cause of this dissatisfaction, frustration, low self-concept? There must be reasons behind it. There must be reasons. So we need to go and look for the reasons, right? Reasons that makes you like this, right? So when I say looking for that reason, that motives, because sometimes our children, they went through some kind of events in their life. Some of the events might be traumatic events, traumatic events. Either in the school, either among their friends, either in the community, they have gone through, they experienced this traumatic event that affect their psychological makeup. Right? So if I can share with Dr. Rosli, the best would be get some professional help. Sometimes she might not be willing to talk to the father, right? But she will be able to talk to someone neutral, right? Professional counselor, professional psychologist, that finally will be able to understand what are the causes that makes who you are now. Okay, so there might be some events in her life that trigger, that distort her perception about life, about everything that she sees, her worldview, and so on. So my suggestion to Dr. Rosli is maybe engaging a professional counselor can help to build up the rapport. So of course you have to build the rapport first. So in order for you to get that information, there must be trust. The children, your daughter must trust that person. Then only I'm able to share with you what happened in my life. So there's no quick fix. There's no shortcut. Okay, so I think the best thing now is to get professional help. Go and get somebody that can talk to her professionally and try to understand and build up. So that's why in counseling they call it talk therapy. Talk therapy. Because we don't prescribe medication, but by talking, by listening to the counselor will make yourself more vibrant, more energetic by the words being used by the therapist. Because you are now in the mild category. But once you go into the moderate and severe, counseling doesn't work anymore. Because that is the role of the psychiatrist. So the psychiatrist will prescribe medication. You need to take medication in order for you to heal. But if you are at the early stage, all right, mild category, then counseling will be the best approach for healing processes. So talk therapy. By talking, active talking and active intervention, will be able to, to develop a new perspective about herself and about her surroundings. So that's my take on that. Dr. Sisi, ada satu lagi, boleh ke? Oh, sudah close. Okay, Puan.
Yeah, Dato', we are running out of time.
Oh, running out of time. Okay.
But Puan Aniza actually would like to ask you one question.
Okay.
Puan Aniza, please.
Silakan.
But after this, we will close this session.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, for
Right.
Q&A session.
Okay, Puan Haniza, please. You can use the microphone if you like. Yeah.
Dato', first of all, congratulations on your presentation.
Thank you, yeah.
It was very interesting. Now, actually, your presentation is a major concern of our state director.
Okay.
So, as a district officer, we were told to give our concentration to the schools on the mental health issues of our students nowadays. So, I saw your studies just now on the IPTA students. And I'm very interested on the findings. First of all, lack of assertiveness. Secondly, on leadership. And I don't get the last one, AC.
Okay, let me just show you very quickly. Yeah?
Yes. So how do we go about, as a school teacher, or how do we go about addressing all this? Because the findings are very correlate with our teachers as well. You know, assertiveness, leadership, and the later on,
Let me show you.
much, yeah.
This one, is it?
Yeah, that
this one.
AC just now. Yeah.
Okay.
You show AC and something.
Here, yeah.
Yeah. So how do we go about addressing all these problems in school?
Okay.
When we have counselors in school, but unfortunately, sometimes we don't have enough of them in school with so many students. So maybe Dato', you can help me out, and I'm really interested in this issue in fact, and I'm addressing this to my principals and to my GBs or administrators in school. Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you very much for your question, very timely. All right, let me just answer this very briefly. All right, firstly, the importance of data. Okay, data. When you have a lot of data, you can do a lot, tremendous thing you can do. A lot using data analytics, try to analyze, right? So this is based on the data of 2,000 students. So it shows that AS stands for assertiveness. LD stands for leadership. PM stands for patriotism. Yeah? Okay. For example, when you do this psychometric profiling among your students, so I call it two. You might go for HAVA or you might go for LAVA. There are two activities here. LAVA, L-A-V-A, HAVA, H-A-V-A. What does it mean? LAVA, low activity value added. HAVA, high activity value added. Okay? So once we got the data, so data is evidence-based, giving you an evidence. So now, based from this data, I'm going to zoom. So what's next? What's the solution? How am I going to address this? Easily you can see already. I can easily see that we need to do intervention programs, strategic intervention programs. Assertiveness. There are issues of assertiveness in school, for example. Go, male, female, go, anything you want to go. Then you come up with a strategic intervention, how to address that issue. Leadership, again, there's an issue with leadership. So you can see where's the strength, where's the gap. So this is where, again, sometimes in the school system, we got so many programs. But this program might not address the needy ones who needs to go to this program. So from this data, then we can do intervention programs. At-risk student, what is their program? High achiever student, what are they? So then we have a strategic intervention program, which I call HAVA, High Activity Value Added Program. Otherwise, you're going to be generic. Those who are high confident also go into that program, low confidence also go. Then you dilute the whole program. So now we have to come back to strategic intervention. So we'll be very happy if you are very happy to collaborate with your department, how to address so that we get data, evidence-based, and then we do assessment, we measure again. Is there an increase in the levels? So we can see very tangible. Thank you. All right, so my apology again, everyone. So thank you again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you, Yang Baginda Dato', for sharing your perspective, wisdom, and experience on the issue. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any additional questions for Yang Baginda Dato', you may do so by writing to him. His email at tajuddin@oum.edu.my. Now we move on to the next agenda. We invite Dr. Shafiqur Rahman, Head of IOU's Department of Business Administration, to introduce Professor Dr. Man Aminul Islam, who will deliver the second keynote address.
So I follow Dato' Tajuddin. Okay or all right? Selamat pagi. Good morning. Assalamu alaikum. This is Dr. Shafiqur Rahman, Head of Department, Business Administration, International Open University. I operate my department from Sydney, Australia. So we are a truly global university. This is my absolute privilege to introduce Professor Dr. Muhammad Aminul Islam. Professor Islam works in the Department of Business, Faculty of Business and Communication, University Malaysia Perlis. Professor Islam, an award-winning academic and researcher, received numerous awards, including the Best PhD Thesis Award in 2011 from University of Science Malaysia, the Best Lecturer Award in 2010, and Research Excellence Awards in 2020 and 2021 from University Malaysia Perlis. He is a visiting professor for a few renowned universities. He has conducted numerous workshops and webinars on research methodology and data analysis issues in many countries. He has authored and co-authored 5 books, 5 book chapters, and about 230 research papers. His writings have attracted about 770,000 reads in ResearchGate and about 8,000 citations in Google Scholar. 23 PhD and 6 postdoctoral scholars have graduated with his supervision. His recent research has spanned issues related to fintech, entrepreneurship, blockchain, blue economy, Islamic banking, and susuk. Last but not least, Professor Islam founded a research education channel on YouTube, Platform for Research and Development, PRD, with 10,000 plus subscribers. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our next keynote speaker, Professor Dr. Muhammad Aminul Islam.
Assalamualaikum, selamat pagi, and very good morning. Professor Dato Dr. Muhammad Tajuddin Muhammad Ningal, the Vice President, Academic and Research of Open University Malaysia, Associate Professor Dr. Shashi Kumar Pialalal, Director, Graduate Center of OUM, Associate Professor Dr. Afroza Bulbul Afrin, Director, Research and Publication of International Online University, Associate Professor Dr. Muhammad Shafiqur Rahman, Head Department of Business of IOU, distinguished guests, fellow colleagues, academic friends. First of all, I would like to extend my apologies for cancelling my travel plan due to health concern. I had bacterial infection and I had to go for 2 weeks of antibiotic course, which only ended yesterday. I'm really sorry for cancelling my trip to OUM, and I apologize for the inconvenience caused. Fellow colleagues and my friends, when I was approached by Associate Professor Dr. Shashi Kumar on which topic I'll be talking about, I thought for a while and I told him it's going to be about micro enterprises. In the world, we see the highlights of high-rising buildings, long bridges, and flyovers. But we have less discussion and highlights on the people who are underprivileged, those live in the village areas, and they try to survive with little income, small businesses. So I am going to focus on the contribution of micro enterprises. We have undertaken a research which was sponsored by FRGS grant, and I'm going to present the research findings along with some recommendations. So let me present my slides and then I will continue my presentation. Thank you very much. Sustainability of micro enterprises in this VUCA world. The concept of VUCA was introduced in 1987. That stands for volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. The world we live today, there's nothing which is certain. Everything is volatile and ambiguous. And that's the reason we started to say the changes have become only constant. We see a lot of focus and highlights on high-rising buildings, long bridges, long flyovers. But we see less important given and highlights given to people who lives in the villages. They struggle in the villages. We struggle with the small business entities, but those small business entities contributes 40 to 50% to the GDP growth of a country. And that's the reason we have undertaken a research which was sponsored by FRGS grant. And I'm going to share some of these findings with you later. The technology is quickly changing how people live and work and affecting all parts of existence. According to Schwab, the fourth industrial revolution has an impact in every field of endeavors, from business to economic governments, from economies to education and people, as evidenced by changes occurring in our immediate environment in an excessive way. Although technological advancement may have good effect on economic development, there are worries that Industry 4.0 is projected to have a negative impact on employment, leading to job losses and possibly unstable employment. Now I see many academic professionals started talking about ChatGPT and its impact. And I told a few of my friends when Google came in and we used to get everything in one click, but then the Turnitin and Authenticate software came in and we used them to detect the plagiarism. And we know now that there is already a software on trial to detect the plagiarism using ChatGPT. But we are sure that there will be some effect on the current employment that it have, even with the software like ChatGPT. The World Economic Forum, which has made a claim that 65% of students entering primary school today would ultimately end up working in completely new type of jobs that do not currently exist, and that endorse the claim regarding the future of employment. As a result of entry of robotics and other information technology innovations, artificial intelligence and all that into the workplace raises concerns, which in turn causes worry among workers everywhere in the world. The majority of jobs that could be eliminated due to innovation are obvious and may have been identified, but it is unclear which job would be identified and how most workers could be best equipped to take advantage of the opportunities going to be available in the future. So these are the few disruptive technologies that are changing everything in our life, in every corners of the world. And these are the jobs under threat. We know the people who used to work in these professions are losing jobs. Travel agents, tailors, surveyors, journalists, legal assistant, and finance assistant, to name a few. And these are the jobs that had not existed before. Blogger, sustainability managers, drone operators, apps developers, social media strategists, data scientists, to name a few. So Malaysia was envisioned to become a developed and high-income country by the year 2020. And for that purpose, the government has initiated various programs of entrepreneurship development, which also have been categorized or recognized as one of the most comprehensive programs in the world. The micro, small, medium enterprises sector has been contributing almost 40% to Malaysian GDP. Thus, entrepreneurship development in the country cannot be ignored. And even given proper direction, utmost priority and support, entrepreneurial activities can play a vital role in realizing the country's high-income nation. The Malaysian government also recognizes the importance of human capacity building as a key driver to achieving the national vision by the acquisition of intellectual capital and entrepreneurial capabilities. And with the aim to produce quality human capital entrepreneurial graduates, the Malaysian Ministry of Education launched the entrepreneurship development policies long time before. Today, most of the public universities in Malaysia offer entrepreneurship courses as a core subject in many of the academic programs. Now, entrepreneurial activities can be inspired through entrepreneurship education introduced at the school level or at institutions of higher learning. I was very glad to see my son when he was in the SPM level. He was asked to conduct a research. I saw him designing questionnaire, distributing in the Taman or residential area where we live, talking to people, collecting data, then finally writing a report and presenting in the school. And I also saw some of the activities in the schools here in Perlis. In a national celebration, some festivities time, the students are given opportunities to show their innovations of saying and selling their products. Many countries in the world are looking towards entrepreneurship education as a medium to encourage and foster entrepreneurial drive among students. Undoubtedly, entrepreneurship education is an important factor. Attempts have been made by many researchers around the globe, including Malaysia, to identify critical factors that affect graduates to become successful entrepreneurs. However, there is no conclusive research that provided an exhaustive list of factors. In fact, findings vary from country to country, depending on the variable and time to time. Therefore, we have taken these endeavors to develop an index to measure the micro enterprises in Malaysia. SMEs contribution in statistics globally. The World Bank estimates that formal SMEs contribute up to 40% national income GDP in emerging economies. Among the European countries, SMEs account for 99% of all business and employ almost 100 million people. In the United States, SMEs accounts for 99.9% of all businesses and employ around 41.1% of the private workforce. In Japan, SMEs employ about 70% of the total workforce and contribute to 50% of the total value of manufactured goods. In China, SMEs account for 60% of the GDP and 80% of total employment. In Africa, SMEs contribute to more than 50% of employment and around 33% to GDP. Micro enterprises, according to International Labour Organization, micro enterprises accounts for over 90% of all businesses worldwide. Micro enterprises employ over 1.7 billion people globally and is more than the entire population of China. Micro enterprises make up 80% of all businesses in developing countries. Women own or co-own around 42% of micro enterprises worldwide. The majority of micro enterprises operate in informal economy with limited access to formal financial services and government support. In some countries, micro enterprises contribute up to 50% of GDP. So the top sectors of micro enterprises globally includes agriculture, retail, and hospitality. And this it is shown here in South Korea, the SME's contribution to GDP about 51%, USA about 51%. In Malaysia, is about 36.6%. The number of SMEs or small medium-sized enterprises worldwide from 2000 to 2021 in millions. We can see in the graph from 2000 until now, the number of SMEs continue to grow and create lots of employment every corner and every part of the world. And if you look at here, the micro, small, and medium enterprises, they are the backbone of economy, representing 97.4% of overall business establishment in 2021. As it is evidenced here, the majority, 78% of these enterprises are micro, whereby 20% are small and only about 1.6% are medium enterprises. And by sector, we can see that 83.8% or 84% are in the services, followed by construction, manufacturing, agriculture, and other sectors. If we look at Malaysian SME performance, here, if you look at the GDP growth in 2021, there was 3.1% of GDP growth in Malaysia. And in terms of growth of non-MSAC is about 4.4%. In terms of gross domestic product contribution, the agriculture was the top, 55.5%. There's a growth of construction of 49%, and followed by services and manufacturing. Now, when it comes to the contribution to GDP, we see manufacturing followed by services and agriculture. Share to total MSMEs, if you look at small enterprises, is about 23.3% and 22%, and when it comes to 2021, about 20%, compared to the micro enterprises, which constitute about 78.6% overall in Malaysia. Looking at the contribution of MSMEs to GDP growth to Malaysia, here the graph shows the Malaysian GDP growth, and you can see the growth contribution of MSMEs to GDP, which was 518 billion in 2021. And you can see the contribution of GDP. MSME's contribution to GDP is constant and it's on the uptrend. Due to COVID, 2020 was a bit late, but again, it is taking the momentum. It's contributing more to the economy. Now, the sustainability of micro, small, and medium enterprises. If you look at the worldwide data, 20% of SMEs will be closed down within a year. After 2 years, another 2% goes off, 30% goes up, 70% sustain. And after 4 years, about 50%. If you go down to year 9, we can see only about 25% survive. So that's the data that we have from worldwide. About 20% of SMEs only survive after 10 years. Therefore, attention should be given to this sector, which contributes a lot to the growth of economy and to the GDP of a country. The 5 common reasons why these SMEs fail are the poor cash flow management, lack of funding, inadequate management, ineffective business planning, and lack of investment plans. And there were a research conducted by bankofinfo.com, and their conclusion is most of the micro enterprises fall because of incompetence, meaning that they do not have proper education and training, and they start a business and they get closed down within 1, 2, or 3 years. My surroundings, the place where I live last 14 years in Kangar Perlis, I see many small entities come up, the Kedai Runcit. And after 2 months, I cannot find them. Some after 6 months, I couldn't find them. And some after 6 months, after 9 months or a year, they disappears. So it shows that the micro enterprises are very volatile. Their business existence is very uncertain. Therefore, special emphasis should be given by the government. Some kind of support and assistance should be provided. So what we did, we developed a framework to identify the attributes and skills. And then finally, we developed an index to measure the successful endeavors. But for this keynote speech, I'm going to present to you only the attributes and skills. So this was the framework we developed. We choose few entrepreneurial attributes: interpersonal skill, initiative, ambition, creative thinking, networking, and leadership. And when we come to entrepreneurial skills, we choose planning, organizing, checking, examining, and recording documents, business fundamental, computer applications, managing growth, innovation and innovation, marketing, and financial management. These factors are chosen through extensive literature review. And then we develop a questionnaire. The first part, we collect data on the entrepreneur, then general business information, their first exposure to entrepreneurship activity, effectiveness of entrepreneurship education, and finally, we look into the attributes and skills. Now, the data, basically, we have collected for Pharma, MADA, MARDI, RISDA, and MOA. Those of you Malaysians, you are very familiar with that. Majority of the respondents identified through these government agencies. And our focus was on KEDA and Perlis. Now, this is the findings that we have. The age group of the 92 respondents that responded to our survey, we found 3 owners were less than 20 years of age. The majority fall about from 20 to 50 years. The sectors where the micro enterprises focus is basically the top is food and beverage, 57.6%, followed by printing and souvenir, 16%, then herbal products, 6%, and it goes on. Okay, so meaning it looks like the most favorite sector, service sector, is food and beverage, followed by printing and souvenir. And when it comes to current monthly income, there were few decided not to respond. We got about 72 participants to respond to this question. We see among the food and beverage, less than 5,000 income per month, about 33%. 6,000 to 10,000, only 2%, 2.8%, followed by 11,000 to 50,000, only about 19.4%, and over 50,000 is only 1.4%. If we look at printing and souvenir, the highest percentage is actually less than 5,000. That's where many micro enterprises concentrate. Now, on the education level, it looks like majority of them falls and the SME and SPM and MCA level, as well as those having diploma. All right. So if you look at percentage of micro enterprises owners, about 51% actually have diploma and bachelor degree, meaning after completing diploma and bachelor degree, the graduates somehow decided not to go for a job. Rather, they would like to initiate some kind of new businesses and create jobs for others. We wanted to find out what kind of certificate, whether they have certificate of skill, and 57% said they got no formal certification on this micro enterprises development and all that. And when it comes to registration of business, we found 95% are registered. Only few, 4%, are not registered with the government organizations. And the initial capital, they started the business, the highest number of micro enterprise owners were 44%, less than 10,000. So if you look at less than 50,000, it amounts about 70% of micro enterprises. Okay, the 30% only they have capital of more than 50,000. And 20 participants decided not to give us the data, so we couldn't get the data from them. Type of premises they use for micro enterprises: home is about 29%, the shop lot about 22.8%, the factory or workshop building about 22%. And we see that incubator or building provided by private sector is only 3%. And that's what we say, that the government must provide some sort of support, the state level or the federal level. Rental premises are about 50%, 50 respondents, 54.3%. Their own complexes, about 41.3%, and so on. The type of business ownership, we categorize into sole proprietorship, Sandy and Berhad partnership, and some are unknown, those did not want to disclose. And again, we have looked into, the kind of income they get. If you look at sole proprietorship, majority of them draw a monthly income of less than 5,000, and only very few actually draws income of 11,000 to 50,000. The total number of employees is about 50% almost. They have less than 5. So these are that's what is say micro enterprises. They are smaller entities, a small number of people work with them, and they draw a small amount of profit at the end of the month. And that's the reason they couldn't really survive for longer. When it comes to non-family members, employees, 60% of them having less than 5. And having family is about 45.7%. All right. Vocation Institute and all that early exposure is family about 45.7%, vocation institution 15%, media 12%, and so on. Whom they were influenced by, family members about 66.3%, meaning that those graduates after completing the diploma or undergraduate or SPM, they were influenced by their family member. Their parents have been in the business, and that's why they have decided to go into business. And there were 8.7%, they look into entrepreneurs icon and they got influenced by them. The early involvement, many of them got involved in micro enterprises early as during secondary level, 32.6%. And during the workplace where they found their work and they start working, about 14%. And during the primary school time, even 20% of them got involved in some kind of businesses. Why they decided to go for micro enterprises? 65% respondents said because of passion, and then 30% they feel that they have the skill, that's why they have gone for it, and 8.7% have gone for it because of family support. And this is what we found: entrepreneurship skills contribute 48% to the success, and entrepreneurial attributes contribute 52% of success of micro enterprises. Now we followed by we look into detail of entrepreneurial attribute index, and we found that the leadership and team building, ambition, networking, and initiatives have contributed the highest amount, in terms of attribute index, followed by creative thinking and entrepreneurial skills. And when it comes to skill, it looks like the most important was planning and organizing, followed by marketing, and followed by innovation, financial management, competitive skill, and all that. Even micro enterprises level, we can see the innovation, the competitive skill become very important. We conducted also a focus group discussion with participants, selected participants, and the findings are summarized here. Basically, they felt that the successful entrepreneur should always be positive in thinking towards a goal-oriented business undertaking, should be innovative in dealing with business ideas and decision-making, should be aggressive in business management. An entrepreneur should always be ahead of time than his immediate competitors, should develop and maintain a good networking for sustainable supply of products, the ability to identify a problem, design immediate alternative measures to such menace, and provide a feasible but sustainable practice that are cost-effective in handling such business issues. An entrepreneur or entrepreneur must be a spirited individual with high motivation to succeed by venturing to risky but profitable business environment or business investment. An entrepreneur should be a good communication skill, should have a good communication skill. An entrepreneur should be hardworking, trustworthy in dealing with his clients. An entrepreneur should never give up easily. The respondents are unanimously agreed that in spite of encompassing challenges in having access to modern technological machinery, equipment, and other supportive facilities meant for business production, a visionary entrepreneur requires no support to be successful. All right. And this study actually identifies several support and assistance that may be required by successful entrepreneur. The supports includes entrepreneurship training programs, financial assistance, supports for machinery equipment, assistance on product development, product promotion, marketing, and business advice. Findings from this survey show that a greater percentage of respondents subscribe to the need for supplementary support and assistance, either from the government or private agencies. With the advent of contemporary technological innovation, the need for support in terms of modern equipment and product development in business production is highly essential for an entrepreneur to remain competitive in the present market-based economy. On the other hand, the high cost of promotion and other means of product development is increasingly becoming challenging and overburdened to the most of the entrepreneurs. Hence, the need for support is very much expected, especially for the startup and micro-level entrepreneurs. Findings from this study also shows that attributes and skills profile of an entrepreneur, 52% women entrepreneurs who ventured into various categories of business. This is something very good that you see in Malaysia. Despite some shortcomings of sole ownership business in terms of financial risks, inability to raise capital, limited expertise, and growth potentials, we see 56.5% of respondents are registered under sole proprietorship form of business. In addition, 51.1% respondents possesses diploma and degree as highest educational level, and it started up the entrepreneurial ventures with an initial capital of less than 10,000. And the highest number of respondents in this study generate income less than 5,000 monthly. In determining essential factors for entrepreneurial success in Malaysia, the role for family members cannot be underestimated. The influence of family members is encouraging and supporting the society towards entrepreneurial activities are accounted about 66.3%. Likewise, the entrepreneurship education campaign in Malaysian Institute of Higher Learning contributed immensely in developing and encouraging young and prospective entrepreneurs. This was revealed by the study as 51.1% of successful entrepreneurs who serve as the study respondents possess diploma and bachelor degree as the highest education qualification. This implies that entrepreneurship program have begun to emerge as one of the most popular and successful programs among graduates who sees as having a potential provide a rewarding and full-time career opportunity. Now, the desire to develop an enterprising individual and nurture a successful entrepreneur can only be achieved through where there is a corresponding scheme of effective entrepreneurship programs. Therefore, a review of existing curriculum and redesign appropriate framework to develop effective entrepreneurship programs and entrepreneurial individuals is immensely required. The entrepreneurship curriculum needs to encompass courses that are directed towards the development of business intelligence, entrepreneurial motivation of students, business skills. The perception of students should include human resource management, marketing skills, legal and communication requirement, as well as financial literacy and general management. Malaysian Institutes of Higher Learning should be more rigorous in offering entrepreneurship as one of the core programs in an effort to develop business interests and encourage prospective entrepreneurs. With the trend of unemployment becoming more volatile, graduates should be organized and determined to undertake risks in venturing into entrepreneurship through self-reliance. In a nutshell, to fundamentally improve the field of education, in particular, the entrepreneurship education is to implement a more entrepreneurial training at earlier school stages. The existing education system needs to be relooked in a way that individuals are taught the ability to think critically and entrepreneurial, to do so as leaders and not as followers, and finally, to develop a risk-taking culture through school and university education. A revised school curriculum should also nurture a hands-on entrepreneurial activity. Furthermore, recommendations related to seminars that train entrepreneurship skills, deliver easy-to-access knowledge in investment fields, and initiate fostering community of entrepreneurs as mentors to give guidance to new startup or new entrepreneurs. Finally, we'd like to propose a special ministry, namely Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, to be introduced in Malaysia. If you have any questions or queries, please contact me through emails or WhatsApp. So terima kasih, thank you, CCA, Nandri, and Domuga. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to the end of the opening ceremony. Thank you everyone for your presence here today, and special thanks to everyone who joined our live stream. Before we adjourn, just a few quick announcements. The first parallel sessions will be conducted at 12:10 and will run until complete. Lunch will be served at Double One from 12:45 to 2 p.m. and the afternoon sessions will be conducted from 2 to 5 p.m. Now, we would like to invite our esteemed guests, delegates and participants to the front of our building, Menara OUM, for the group photo shoot. Please bring along your conference bags. Thank you. Terima kasih.
Hey you, do you know what ODL is? Okay, let me tell you about it. ODL, or Online Distance Learning, is the perfect option for those who are looking to study flexibly. OUM Digital University has over 20 years of experience in offering ODL courses that is driven to help you upgrade your knowledge and qualifications. You can now work and study flexibly, anywhere and anytime. OUM, redefining flexibility for working adults.